Hello, welcome to my channel Deep Learning Biology. My name is Dr. Vikas Mahardwaj. Today in the biochemistry class I am going to teach you chemical bonds in biomolecules. Chemical bonds in biomolecules. Try to see here in upcoming classes we are going to have lot of discussion related to various biomolecules which generally are present within the cell. So to understand these biomolecules we must have knowledge of chemical bonds. So today in this video I am going to teach you about chemical bonds in biomolecules. Now here I just want to tell you, you must be knowing cell, it is the fundamental unit of life. All living organisms, whether you take plants, whether you take animals, whether you take microorganisms, all they are made up of cell. If you just have a look into the cell and if you are going to study the cell, what you will observe, cell is a biochemical factory. Cell is a biochemical factory, and within the cell you are going to see large numbers of types of biochemical reactions, generally known as metabolic reactions. So to study all these biochemical reactions, to know what are different types of biomolecules which are present within the cell and what type of these reactions they are carrying out, to study all the biomolecular world within the cell, we have to understand the chemical context of life. We must understand what type of different types of chemical bonds are being present within the biomolecules. So today we are going to discuss the chemical context of life. Now here I just want to tell you, if you see the cell, within the cell generally you are going to have majorly four types of biomolecules. One is carbohydrates, the second one is proteins, third one is lipids, and the fourth one is nucleic acid. So we are going to have a detailed discussion about carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acid in upcoming videos, and today I am going to make you understand different types of chemical bonds which are generally present in all these molecules. So here we are going to discuss majorly about the chemical bonds. Yes, about the chemical bonds you must have learned in your chemistry class, but here I just want to recap all these things so that you are at the same level and you are able to understand the things clearly. So let us discuss. Hopefully you must be knowing what is a chemical bond and what are different types of chemical bond. You must be knowing about covalent bonds, ionic bonds, hydrogen bonds, van der Waals interaction, hydrophobic interaction. All these are chemical bonds. Now we are going to discuss one by one what is covalent bonds, what is ionic bonds, what is hydrogen bonds, what is van der Waals interaction, and what is hydrophobic interaction. So be with me and learn each one. Now try to see here. If you see the covalent bonds, hopefully you remember covalent bonds generally they are being formed by sharing of electrons. When two atoms, here if you see the example hydrogen, they are going to share electrons. Now these hydrogen they are going to have one electron in their valence shell. So they are having just one electron and to complete its octet it's need another one. Okay, so here what it's going to do, it is going to share electron. Okay, so here between two hydrogen atom, what you are going to see, sharing of electrons. This is going to give rise to covalent bonds. So within the hydrogen gas, what you are going to have, you are going to have covalent bonds. Yes, here if you see in the case of methane, one carbon, it is joined to 4 hydrogen atom. So one carbon, it is being joined to 4 hydrogen atom. Okay, here there is covalent bond, single covalent bond between carbon and hydrogen. Same way, if you are going to see that what is covalent bond, okay, here in covalent bond, what you are going to see, 2 or more atoms, they are being held together, and they are being held together by covalent bonds. And when these atoms, they are being held together by covalent bonds, they are going to give rise to molecules. They are going to give rise to molecules. So hopefully every point is clear to you. Now you must be knowing the covalent bonds can be of different types. Like you can have single covalent bond. In case of single covalent bond, remember you are going to have sharing of one pair of electron. You are going to have sharing of one pair of electron. Try to see here. When you are going to have hydrogen, okay, so hydrogen atom, one atom of hydrogen is going to share electron with another atom of hydrogen. Okay, so here one pair of electron has been shared. Okay, so one pair has been shared. Okay, so this is going to give rise single covalent bond. Now try to see here in the case of double covalent bond, what you are going to see, sharing of two pairs of electron. Sharing of two pairs of electron. Here if you see in the case of oxygen, okay, the 2 electron from one oxygen atom, 2 electron from the another oxygen atom, they are being shared. So here what you are going to see, sharing of 2 pairs of electron. This is going to give rise double covalent bond. Okay, so here you can represent the single covalent bond, double covalent bond like this. Okay, so hopefully it is clear what is single covalent bond, what is double covalent bond. Now let us discuss about triple covalent bond. Hopefully you remember in the case of nitrogen, what you are going to see, sharing of 3 pair of electrons. Sharing of 3 pair of electrons. So nitrogen, it is going to share electron with another nitrogen atom. So here what you are going to see, sharing of 3 pair of electron. Okay, so hopefully now it is clear what is single covalent bond, what is double covalent bond, and what is triple covalent bond. Now we are going to discuss the strength of these bonds, and hopefully you remember the triple covalent bond, it is going to have more strength than double covalent bond, and double covalent bond is going to have more strength than the single covalent bond. Okay, so this is the strength of the different types of bonds. Here we have discussed the strength of triple covalent bond. Triple covalent bond, they are much stronger than the double covalent bond, and double covalent bond is much stronger than the single covalent bond. Now let us discuss here the case. Let's suppose there are 2 atoms A and B, and they are sharing electrons. They are sharing electrons, and let's suppose both of them, they are sharing the electron, and they are sharing these electrons equally. They are sharing these electrons equally. So equal sharing. So in this condition, when there is equal sharing of electrons, what you are going to see, formation of non-polar covalent bond. What you are going to see, formation of non-polar covalent bond. Now here if you are going to see another situation, let's suppose A, it is more electronegative than B. If A, it is more electronegative than B, means it is going to pull the shared pair of electron. Okay, so A and B, they have shared the electrons, but now the condition is A is more electronegative than B. In this situation, the shared electron will be shifted towards A. Okay, so here A is more electronegative than B. So A atom, it will more strongly pulls the shared electron towards itself. So in this situation, what you are going to see, A, okay, on A atom you are going to have negative charge, on the B atom you will have positive charge. So what you are going to see here, you are going to see formation of polar covalent bond. So hopefully now it is clear what is non-polar covalent bond and what is polar covalent bond. Okay, now let us move forward. Here if you see the case of water, in the water if you are going to see, you are going to have one oxygen atom and you are going to have two hydrogen. Now oxygen is more electronegative, it will pull the shared electron towards itself, and what will be the result? Oxygen will carry negative charge, hydrogen it will carry positive charge. So if you are going to see one water molecule, so what you are going to see, on oxygen it is electronegative, oxygen will carry negative charge, hydrogen it will carry positive charge. Now if you are going to have cup of water, we are going to have millions, trillions of water molecules. Let's suppose we are going to show another water molecule. So on that also you are going to have the same situation. Oxygen will carry negative charge, hydrogen will carry positive charge. Now if you see both of these water molecules, the hydrogen of one and oxygen of another one, they will also attract each other. Why? One is carrying positive charge, another is carrying negative charge. So here one attractive force will be generated, and this force, it is going to give rise to hydrogen bonds. So this is hydrogen bond. So here try to see what is hydrogen bond. It is actually a type of non-covalent interaction. It is a type of non-covalent interaction between hydrogen and another electronegative atom, and here the electronegative atom is oxygen. So here hopefully now it is clear what is hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond is non-covalent interaction between hydrogen and an electronegative atom. Here the electronegative atom is oxygen. So between hydrogen and oxygen, what you are going to see, formation of weak attractive force. It is weak. Okay, so and this is hydrogen bond. Now let us move forward. Try to see in the case of hydrogen bond. In the case of hydrogen bonds, okay, you can see the situation can be that, let's suppose you are going to have water molecule, you are going to have ammonia. Okay, let's suppose you are going to dissolve ammonia in water. Okay, so here if you are going to represent water, okay, hydrogen atoms, they will carry negative charge, oxygen it will carry positive charge, but in ammonia, nitrogen, okay, it will carry negative charge, and hydrogen they will carry the positive charge. Okay, it is based on how the shared electrons are being pulled. Okay, so here if you see between oxygen and nitrogen, okay, attractive force will generate. Okay, so here this is going to give rise to hydrogen bond. So here you see there is no involvement of hydrogen. Okay, so here hopefully you can see, okay, this is hydrogen bond. Now here, if you remember, in case of DNA, in between bases, okay, what we are going to have? Hydrogen bonds. A is going to pair with T, adenine is going to pair with thymine, guanine is going to pair with cytosine. Between adenine and thymine, you are going to have 2 hydrogen bonds. Between guanine and cytosine, you are going to have 3 hydrogen bonds. Okay, so there in DNA, okay, we will discuss, you will see hydrogen bonds, okay, between bases. Yes, keep in mind, these hydrogen bonds, these are non-covalent interaction, these are weak bonds, but when these weak bonds are large in numbers, when we are going to have large in numbers of very large numbers of hydrogen bonds, then they are going to become strong. They also provide stability to the biomolecule. So you can say just like unity. Okay, so here many large numbers of weak hydrogen bonds, yes, they can give stability to DNA, to proteins, okay, when they are present in large in number. Okay, so don't underestimate if something is weak. Okay, so weak, they can become stronger when they are present in large in numbers. Now let us discuss ionic bond. Okay, hopefully every point is clear. Now let us discuss ionic bond. In case of ionic bond, try to see here oppositely charged atoms known as ions, okay, they attract each other, and hopefully you know, one is positively charged known as cations, another is negatively charged known as anions. So between cations and anions, positively charged and negatively charged ions, what you are going to see? Attractive force, and this is going to give rise to ionic bonds. Now here, if you see the case of sodium chloride, now if you see the sodium, it is going to have 11 electron, atomic number 11, and if you prepare this, okay, electron, so here in the first you are going to have 2 electron, in the next 8 electron, in the next cell you are going to have 1 electron, 2 8 1. So here sodium, it is having 1 electron extra. To complete its octet, it needs 7 more. Okay, no one is going to give. Okay, so here what it does, it can donate its 1 electron to chlorine. Try to see here, chlorine is going to have 17 electron, 2 8 7. So sodium, okay, it will donate 1 electron to chlorine. So the one who is going to donate electron, it will carry positive charge, the sodium will carry positive charge, and chlorine atom, it will carry negative charge. So here one is going to act like cations, the sodium, it will act like cations, and chlorine, it will act like anion. So when you are having cations and anions, okay, what you are going to have in between them? Ionic bonds. So here between sodium chloride, you are going to have ionic bonds. Yes, the compounds, okay, which are being formed and which are having ionic bonds, the molecules which are going to have these ionic bonds, they are known as salts. Now here I just want to tell you, you may think that ionic bonds, they are not much stronger, but try to see here this dry salt, it is salt, but here you have to use a hammer to break this salt. Okay, so it is strong, but yes, you can also easily dissolve this salt in water. Okay, so ionic bond here, when the salt, it is in dry form, here the bond is much stronger, and it is holding both sodium and chlorine. Yes, you can easily break the bond just by dissolving the salt in water. Now here we are going to discuss about another interaction, that is van der Waals interaction. Van der Waals interaction. When two or more atoms or molecules, when they come very close to each other, when two or more atoms or molecules, when they come very close to each other, in this situation what you are going to see, formation of van der Waals interaction. Let's suppose there are two atoms A and B, and when they are coming in contact, they are coming very close to each other. Okay, they are not going to have any charge, any attractive force, but when they are coming in contact of each other, it can give rise to formation of a force, and that force is weak, and this force is known as weak van der Waals force. Weak van der Waals force. Yes, keep in mind, these van der Waals interaction, they are weakest of all molecular interaction, weakest of all of these type of chemical bonds. They are very weak. Now here I just want to give you another example. Yes, they are weak, but when they are present lot together, okay, I have told you, don't underestimate someone is weak. Okay, so when the weak, they are present lots together, when there are lot of van der Waals interaction, yes, they can also create strong force. They can also create strong force. Now here I just want to give you one good example. Okay, just have a look. Okay, you must have seen lizard, okay, crawling on the wall. So if you look under the foot of the lizard, what you are going to have, hundreds of thousands of tiny hairs. If you are going to see under the foot of the lizard, what you are going to see, hundreds of thousands of tiny hairs, and these tiny hairs, they actually project multiple projection, and these multiple projection, they actually maximize surface area. And what you are going to see, the hair, okay, which are present underneath of the foot, now they are coming in contact with the wall. Okay, multiple projections, they are coming in contact with the wall. So here you see the molecules which are present on the lizard foot, okay, they now are coming in contact with the wall. Okay, in this situation, a lot of van der Waals interactions are being generated, and here you see, when you are going to have lot of van der Waals interaction, yes, van der Waals interaction, they are weak forces, but when you are going to have lot of van der Waals interaction, yes, they can give rise to strong force, and this strong force actually support the lizard. A lizard, try to see, it can easily crawl, okay, it can move over the wall easily. Remember, it is just because of van der Waals interactions. So hopefully it is clear. Now let us move and let us try to understand hydrophobic interactions. Hydrophobic interaction. Now hopefully you must be knowing, like attracts like, like attracts like. Okay, so here you see water molecules. If you see the water, it is a polar solvent. In a polar solvent, polar things, they get dissolved. Here if you see the water, okay, in the water, generally the hydrophilic substance, they get dissolved easily. And what are these hydrophilic substance? Hydrophilic substance are water loving, and here in the hydrophilic substance, what you are going to have, polar molecules. So here polar molecules, they get dissolved in polar water. Okay, so these hydrophilic substance, they readily get dissolved in water. Now here, if you see the case of sodium chloride, in the sodium chloride, I have told you what you are going to have, ionic bond. In case of water, here what you are going to see, formation of dipole. At one end you are going to have positive charge, on the another end you are going to have, okay, so in between here negative charge. So here dipoles are being formed. So here try to see, when you are dissolving sodium chloride in water, the sodium ions, now they attract negative oxygen. Same way chloride ions, they attract the positive hydrogen protons. So here the ion dipole interaction, it is going to disrupt the bond, the ionic bond. It is going to break the ionic bond between sodium and chlorine, and this will lead to solvation, or you can say dissolution of sodium chloride in water. So here sodium chloride, okay, the ions of sodium and chlorine, they will be separated and they will be surrounded by water molecules. This is the reason the sodium chloride, it get dissolved in water. Now here, if you see the case of hydrophilic substance, okay, try to see here. In the case of hydrophilic substance, I have told you these hydrophilic substance, they are water loving, they are going to have polarity, they are polar molecules, and they get readily dissolved in water. Here I have given you one example, sodium chloride, the salt. Now here I want to ask you one question. Can you give me the example of a hydrophilic substance which do not get dissolved in water? Can you give me the example of hydrophilic substance which do not get dissolved in water? Here, can you think? It is hydrophilic, it is rich in hydroxyl groups, and naturally it has natural affinity with water, but it doesn't get dissolved in water. What is that? Don't worry, the answer is cotton. Cotton, try to see the cotton, okay, it will readily absorb the water, it has affinity, but it will not get dissolved in water. It will not get dissolved in water. So this is about hydrophilic. Now here I just want to make you understand hydrophobic interaction. Okay, so here let us discuss about hydrophobic substance. So if you see the hydrophobic substance, they are water fearing. They try to move away from water. They are non-polar. They are non-polar, and these substance, they generally do not get dissolved in water. Okay, and here the best example is oil. If you are going to mix oil in water, it will not mix. Okay, so oil is hydrophobic. Now generally, if you see the hydrophobic substance, they are going to have long chain of carbon. They are going to have long chain of carbon. Okay, and if you are going to have, let's suppose this is one oil droplet A, around it you are going to have number of water molecules, and let's suppose you are going to have another oil droplet A, around it you are going to have another layer of water molecules. So generally when these are separated, you can count the number of water molecules, but try to see here these molecules, the hydrophobic substance, they also love each other. They want to remain together. Like attracts like. So here A will come in contact with A, and it will repel. Actually, it will minimize their contact with water. Okay, that's why you can see that when you are going to mix oil in water, yes, you are going to initially see formation of small oil droplets. Later all these oil droplets, they will come together and they are going to form separate layer. So here keep in mind, hydrophobic substance, they are water fearing, they do not get dissolved in water. Now here if you see, in the case of hydrophobic interaction, what are these? Hydrophobic interaction are weak interaction. These are weak interaction which actually are in between hydrophobic substance. Yes, these are weak interaction but still stronger than hydrogen bonds, stronger than van der Waals interaction. Hopefully you remember, I have told you weakest of all interaction is van der Waals bonds. Okay, so keep in mind, hydrophobic interaction are a type of weak interaction. Now let us discuss about cytosolic proteins. Okay, so we have now discussed all different type of bonds. Okay, now let us discuss about cytosolic protein. Okay, let's suppose this is a cell, and hopefully you know within the cell generally you are going to have 70 to 75% water. Now here I am going to show one protein, generally bigger in size. Okay, generally the proteins, they are not going to have this size. Now generally, hopefully you remember, proteins, they are polymer of amino acids. Proteins are polymer of amino acids. Now here in a protein, what you are going to have? You are going to have hydrophobic amino acids, hydrophilic amino acids. What we are going to have? Hydrophobic amino acids and hydrophilic amino acids. Now try to see here, when this protein is going to fold, what will it will do? It will keep its hydrophilic amino acids outside. Why? Because outer environment is hydrophilic, like attracts like. So try to see here in cytosolic protein, keep in mind the hydrophilic amino acids, they will be present outside. So outside environment is hydrophilic. So the hydrophilic amino acids, they will be present outside, while if you see the hydrophobic amino acids, they will try their best to move away from water. So inside what you are going to have? Hydrophobic amino acids. Okay, so this way you can see in protein you are going to see organization of amino acids. Hydrophobic amino acids, they are present inside. Hydrophilic amino acids, they are present outside. Clear? Now let us move forward. Okay, if you see the case of membrane proteins, the proteins which are present within the membrane, hopefully you remember, membrane, they are going to have phospholipid bilayer. Okay, so here you are going to have the hydrophilic phosphate groups and you are going to have these tails, these are hydrophobic. So let's suppose if there is a protein and this protein is present within the membrane. Now try to see here, you see these tails, these are actually hydrophobic, and here if you see, like attracts like. So here in the case of membrane proteins, remember the hydrophobic amino acids, they will be present outside, not inside. Try to see the outer environment is hydrophobic. So hydrophobic amino acids, they will be present outside. The situation will be reverse of cytosolic proteins, and the hydrophilic amino acids, they will be present here inside. So hopefully this point is also clear to you. Okay, now hopefully through this video you have learned clearly about different type of chemical bonds, generally what you are going to see in biomolecules. Okay, so here we have discussed about covalent bonds, single covalent bond, double covalent bond, triple covalent bond. Yes, here in this video I have taught you about non-covalent bonds also. Okay, what can be the ionic bonds, hydrogen bonds, van der Waals bonds, hydrophobic interactions. So all the basic points I have discussed you, and hopefully you have understood all the points clearly. Yes, so thank you for watching this. Please do like, share the video and subscribe to my channel Deep Learning Biology. Bye bye, take care.